Welcome to 2 Classic and second video here on the new channel, which is a sister channel of Living with a Classic. We're going to talk a little bit about sort of behind the scenes of the head gasket change on my daily driver. Yesterday we released the video on the main channel of the head going off and everything. That went pretty smoothly. It was stuck on pretty badly. Sadly, the camera wasn't rolling for one bit when I had to get like you saw the bigger green bottle jack to get it off. But that's all off. That's the next day now, I've started cleaning the head and some other things. And I thought I'd just address a couple of things. And that's sort of what this channel is about, where I can address comments and things in sort of a video response. And just to be clear about something, we're maybe not doing everything perfectly correct. But there's a couple of reasons for that. I don't have the time and I really don't have the funds. I cannot afford to take this engine completely apart at the moment. And I really want to drive this car. And I think many of us might have been in this situation, or maybe you haven't. There are some people for who the classic car hobby is everything has to be perfect. They throw a ton of money at it and everything. I've never been in that position. Not a wealthy guy at all, and really just trying to get, have fun with a car, especially this car. This car, just have fun with that I love and that I drive, and we're going to try and put it back together. I have talked to a good friend who has run a really successful, still runs a really successful Jag shop. He's had a ton of these cars back when they were dailies, and I talk about how often they skim the heads. He said, hardly ever. And with the newer style, thicker gaskets, he said, they were always fine. They were always sealed up. Yes, there are tiny cracks between. Yes, you can put in top hat liners. Usually cracks are fine. Usually that doesn't move, and usually that's okay. And that's a massive cost. And honestly, I really can't afford that. And I'm not saying that for anyone to feel sorry for me or anything like that, but just that's the way. I have a family. We have other interests and things. And yes, it's kind of crazy that I drive this car, but when it's not broken, it's really cheap transport actually, just because it's usually very reliable. I don't drive that much, so the fuel consumption doesn't matter because it's cheap insurance, it's tax-free, and a lot of the parts and things for it, I can almost get for free, because sometimes I'll rebuild the customer cars and we'll replace some parts, and then the old parts get left over. No one wants those. And then I upgrade things, so find nicer door handles, put them on here and do things. So it's usually free stuff in that sense. But I felt like I just needed to, sometimes you need to defend yourself. It almost feels like that, just because it might not be the perfectly correct way of doing it. Yeah, it'd be great just to send off the whole thing to rebuild, spend tens of thousands of dollars and get it back and put it in and it'd be a perfect car. That's not the budget. I bought a gasket set for like 90 bucks. We're putting some parts store oil in there. We're slapping it back together. So it'll be like 150 bucks into it, getting it back on the road. And hopefully it will last. If it won't, I'll deal with that later. But I'm really just doing my best to end. I'm going to measure up the head. If the head seems to be completely off, then we'll rethink. But I really think it failed because of a subpar gasket and not being torqued correctly. I'd say this is about 90% cleaned off, and I found some interesting things. This cylinder head has definitely chewed on a valve or something at some point. So this is in the combustion chamber, but it's not worth sealing, so that's good. That's definitely chewed on something, or maybe it's sat with water at some point. Do not know. We're talking about, this is like an early 70s engine. We're talking about like 55 years old. Things will happen. But it's all been cleaned up. It's all very smooth. There's a couple small things left, like that right there. So I'm going to do the final cleaning of it. Also, one thing I've noticed, if you have a look here, this head has been decked multiple times. So I think there's probably maximum one more time it can be decked. before we were literally out of material. Also compression ratio issues and timing chain. Timing and everything becomes an issue. So if we don't have to deck it, that's good, because I want to keep driving this car. Let's say the head gasket fails again in 5 or 10 years. And let's say it actually massively overheats at some point. Let's say I blow a coolant hose and it massively overheats and it actually does need to be decked. Then I want to have the chance to be able to do that. I have also realized that I will need to probably keep my eye out for spare engine. I sold a spare engine a while ago, and then I bought another one, which I sold to a customer again, which we're putting into a car that you'll see a little bit. We'll actually do a video on this channel about some future customer projects as well. So yeah, I will measure it up with a straight edge and we'll see what it is. I'll do that now, and if I find anything weird, I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, I'm going to give my neighbor a call and see if he can help me later to lift this back on. I still need to clean the block, but the block looks really good. Checked everything with a straight edge and a strong light. Can't shine anything through there. Can't get feel gauge through either, so seems pretty straight. I did find one thing on the block that we did touch on in the main video, but I'll show you again as a sort of an extra explanation on here. So this is pretty much all cleaned up as well. Got a little bit more to do, but this is the only issue. And I saw that when I took it apart. I can physically feel that, and it's not running straight into water jacket, but it is over there. And that has been there since whoever put the engine together before. Yes, there was smoke crack there as well. We're going to ignore those because all these engines have them. Yours probably has one too, and then when you ever take it apart, you'll see it. And like I said, this is not a rebuild of the engine. The reason I'm fine with that is, if you have a look at this gasket, that's the spot right there. I'm not sure how the camera is focusing, but that feels positive there, and it's negative over there. So this compression ring, the squishy part of the gasket, has been positive there. Also, I don't see any evidence of it blowing exactly there. And like I said, it's been fine for me for 4 or 5 years. My friend who had the car engine before, in that car, he probably had it for as long and running. It's been fine then as well. So we're going to chance it, because the only way to properly fix that is take the whole engine out, take everything apart, and send that to machine shop. And I believe that is a mark from someone removing the cylinder head before. I never put anything in here that would, do anything like that. And we know it's been there before because of the mark in the gasket. One other thing I found is, it's been an issue before, is my jockey wheel here. It goes closed and it has chewed a little bit into that hose. But I adjusted the hose years ago, and it doesn't look like it's gotten any deeper. But we're going to have a look at that. It's just gone into a tiny bit of the outer layer of the hose. I'm sort of seeing if I can find any external water leak to see why it's overheated, or if that caused anything. What I am going to do is this hose on the other end, because the cooling system's empty, I'm going to cut that and I'm going to move it over. I'm also going to move the cooler pipe there for transmission cooler over a bit to get that further away from that jockey wheel. And I believe I saw some light wetness around this hose here, so I'm going to see if I replace that one. And yeah, what I do want to do when I have a bit more funds is replace the radiator. It's not leaking, it's pretty fine, but it is pretty substandard. The original radiator for these for a non-AC car, they're very, very thin. And I've understood that a certain Mustang radiator will fit, and I've looked up and I got the specs on it, so I'm going to measure that at some point. If that fits, I can get a new one for like $300. And yeah, it's a bit of money, but it's a lot cheaper than having that record. And yeah, that should be a good idea. But not in the fronts now at all. And also it's winter, so I think we should be fine. Just to clear one thing up, it has not been overheating and running hot. It's just, it'd be nice to have, a bit more coolant capacity. This is still a car that in summer times, you get a little nervous when you get stuck in traffic. It never really gets super, super hot, but if I can get more coolant capacity, that's good. I want to keep a mechanical fan because I want the, it's simple. It always works. However, I might stick a small pusher fan or something in the front I can control with the switch. We'll see, but that's not now. I'm going to continue cleaning these things up and then start filming the main video for the channel of getting this all back together, rinsing the block out and all that, get my neighbor out after lunch to try and put this back together. And today's a bit of a busy day, but I think I'll start putting it together. And then probably tomorrow will be a first start, and then hopefully it will be a video on the main channel on Wednesday of this thing up and running and being all nice again. But thank you so much for support on this new channel. We're over 600 subscribers so far, which is really, really cool. Need to hit the 1,000, and then also need some watch time. So it really helps if you watch the video. And well, we'll get some more things soon. I think I have some ideas of some other things. We're gonna have a look at some wood burning things and maybe some of the outboards. We also have something we do with my son, which I think you guys will really enjoy. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.